Steel Development embarks on investigation of solid minerals targets in 19 states of the Federation. Minister of Environment discloses plans to further mitigate effects of climate change. Plus, Reverend Father Jude Mary Agbeye leads the train in a Thanksgiving Mass for his successful ordination as a Catholic priest. Details shortly. Good evening and thanks for joining us on the news. I am Oduak Etam. The Ministry of Mines and Steel Development is embarking on investigation of mineral targets in 19 states of the Federation to determine accurate mineral locations using modern-day aeromagnetic mechanism. In pursuant of its sensitization to affected communities, the team visited the Cross River State government to garner support ahead of its objective. Paul Ebel reports.
The Mineral Sector Support for Economic Diversification, Mind Diver project is World Bank assisted under the Ministry of Mines and Steel Development. The project team is embarking on an airborne geophysical survey activity covering 112 local government areas. To this end, low-level aircrafts will fly across these locations to acquire data, and based on the security situation in the country, and since people are likely to be apprehensive on sighting these aircraft, the ministry says there is no cause for alarm. The Cross River State government promises to give the project the desired support when it commences, but cautions on safety and need for groundwork to support findings of the aerial survey.
These planes, they won't shoot anybody. They are coming fully loaded with equipment. They will be shooting rays to the ground and collecting some information at very, very fast space though, and they'll be moving up and down in the sense that they have to take readings within just a space of 100 meters. It is expected that this investigation will certainly give us some mineral targets, and of course the speculation that whether Cross River State has minerals or no minerals will be laid to rest.
I here commend the Commissioner for Local Government, Commissioner for Solid Mineral, to make any request that will facilitate your logistics to liaise with the local government chairman to make sure that indeed you carry out the campaign. It's not enough for us to sit at the boardrooms and talk while the communities are unaware. Truly, it is important that this message goes to the grassroots so that they can sincerely be conscious. What I will advise and I will wish you can do for us is to perhaps give us a periodicity, which is a periodized program, which distills an action plan to show when is the day of Otopani, when is the day of Boki, when is the day for Balik, so that prior to that program, specific to that local government, a special way of organizing the people at community level, which is town crier system. This is going to start happening from tomorrow. Don't bother yourself. It's not a thing for worry.
Similar exercises were carried out in 2003 and 2009 for a particular period of time. Mappings to be generated will also be used for various developmental activities. In Calabar, Paul Abel, Nta News.
National parks in conserving biological diversity also help to mitigate climate change, but security infractions are threatening these functions in Nigeria. Minister of Environment Muhammad Mahmoud Abubakar says plans are underway to protect the parks and the rangers managing them. Unengie Fineface reports.
To meet the 25% forest cover recommended by the United Nations in mitigating climate change, Nigeria increased the number of national parks in the country to 17. However, security infractions like banditry, kidnapping, cattle rustling, poaching, as well as illegal logging, fishing, mining, and grazing threaten the flourishing of these forest covers and their biological diversity. Park rangers face similar threats. Between August 2020 and July 2021, 120 rangers lost their lives across the globe.
Edison Kara 2020, Johnson Eyin 2021.
Nigeria accounts for 17 of them.
Recognize and stand and support the good work of the living rangers that are still working tirelessly in protecting our wildlife.
This candlelight procession is to remember the sacrifices of park rangers, and the federal government is resolved to stop the tide of death confronting them.
We are working towards getting additional equipment of all kinds that will help the rangers carry out their work, including but not limited to the current technological know-how where they can keep track of everything that is happening in the parks.
The event is a commemoration of World Ranger Day celebrated on July 31st every year. Onengiye Fine Face, NTA News.
Maritime stakeholders are exploring every available option towards stimulating the growth of the sector and increase its contribution to the nation's gross domestic product. The Minister of Transportation, Rotimi Amechi, at a retreat in Lagos, is therefore using the successes recorded in the rail subsector as benchmark in revolutionizing the maritime industry. Michael Olaleye reports.
Just before the COVID-19 pandemic impacted drastically on world trade and investment, the maritime industry contributed 1.87% to the nation's GDP. This trend is what the minister believes could be better once human resources are well utilized to achieve specific goals. The minister further explained that the deployment of the D-Blue project, already reducing criminality at sea, will in turn crush the huge war risk premium accrued to Nigerian vessels.
The reason why vessels are not able to go to Port Harcourt, to Warri and other places is because of the high cost of insurance. And the high cost of insurance is as a result of the insecurity. So if we address insecurity, which is the root cause, the high cost of insurance will reduce from what it is now war premium to other things, in which case more business will go to the south where they have other four seaports.
On the $200 million cabotage vessels finance fund, the minister said disbursement is being delayed by the finance ministry after presidential approval has been granted.
We still abide by the federal government law with that because we are sending it for the company through a commercial bank because we have to recover the money. The bank have to recover the money.
Heads of agencies within the maritime sector believe the retreat will further promote synergy required to drive transformation.
We have cases where inspection of goods at the port is done physically because of lack of scanners. And we are encouraging Nigerian Customs Service to procure these scanners. We have heard there have been approval by federal government.
If we have a clarity in the regulatory environment, that effectively will allow for efficiency in service delivery.
The three-day retreat is aimed at achieving the medium-term plan of the maritime industry between 2021 and 2025. In Lagos, Michael Olaleye, NTA News.
The Minister of Niger Delta Affairs, Godswill Akpabio, has reiterated President Muhammadu Buhari's directive for a holistic examination and review of the operations of the Niger Delta Development Commission, NDDC, which culminated in the inauguration of forensic auditor and subsequently the security team in order to salvage NDDC and the entire Niger Delta region. Akpabio, who said this when he received the forensic audit report from the security team in his office, expressed satisfaction on the job done, stating that the report would definitely be a turning point for the commission and development of the Niger Delta region, while stressing that 389 security team comprising personnel of the Nigerian Navy, Army, Nigerian Police Force, Department of State Services, and Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, which were involved in the exercise, was formed about a year ago. The minister expressed gratitude for the timely completion of the forensic audit report, which he said would be submitted to the president for further actions, adding that the security team exhibited high level of discipline and brilliant comportment, knowing that the exercise would not have been successful without security assistance. Stakeholders of the All Progressives Congress in Akwa Ibom State have passed votes of confidence on President Muhammadu Buhari and the national leadership of the party. This was at a thank you rally for a successful World Congresses across the Federation. Clement Barikwe has details of that report.
The thank you rally for President Muhammadu Buhari held at the APC Secretariat Uyo attracted party stakeholders from the 31 local government areas. Citing the just concluded World Congresses, the people said the president has kept to his words of an all-inclusive polity.
If you look at under Buhari administration, it is the only president in the history of Nigeria that has rolled out the highest number of social investment programs.
Mr. President has come out to be one singular individual that has felt for the common people. If you look at his programs, for the common people, for the vulnerable, for the communities, for the society.
Mr. President has done so well for the country. He has managed the nation very effectively.
This is the first time that we are doing consensus building of the party.
Material will say to all the world, they voted for their no party, nothing.
And you can see that everybody now is a stakeholder in the state. It has nothing to do with few individuals.
The performances of the state and national leadership of the party also received the commendation of the stakeholders. In Uyo, Clement Barikwe, NTA News.
You are still watching NTA Calabar News at 7. You can watch this newscast on our YouTube channel at youtube.com/NTA Calabar. A break now, the news continues shortly. Stay with us.
As news breaks from the north, south, east, and west of Nigeria, we bring it to you. News from the length and breadth of Cross River State is sent to you via this channel.
With movers and shakers in various spheres of influence talking to us, we carve a niche and showcase our experience in broadcasting, because it's NTA Calabar before others.
You can't get this anywhere else. It's only here on NTA Calabar News, showing at these times: 3 p.m. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and 7 p.m. every day. NTA Calabar News. Our experience counts.
Welcome back and thanks for being there. And now to the rest of our bulletin. The West African Examination Council says preparations have been concluded for the conduct of the 2021 examinations, scheduled to commence on August 16 to October 8, 2021. Head National Office Mr. Patrick Agan explained that the examination area scheduled for May-June this year was distorted in the sub-region due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Achibombasi reported that disclosure was made at the official handing over of the renovated White Branch Office Complex, Calabar, destroyed during the October 24, 2020 and SARS protest.
Incident of October 24, 2020 forced the council to relocate its operations to the Uyo Zonal Office for the self-custody of all security materials to meet the needs of residents of Cross River State and its clients. Moved by the difficult operational conditions under which the Calabar office operated within the period, the management of the West African Examinations Council swung into action to ensure the office is renovated before the commencement of the 2021 examinations.
It exists for the Nigerian child. Remember the question I asked? When this happened, the question popped up, what was to be done? It means we would have to continue to render services to the Nigerian child and satisfy the interests of other stakeholders.
Stakeholders commend the management of WAEC for its high responsiveness in renovating the complex, commitment to staff welfare, and best operational practices. Describing the period as the most critical in the history of WAEC, the council renewed its appeal to the Cross River State government to fulfill its part of the promises made to the council after the pains and losses from the End SARS protest that destroyed property in the council's office. In Calabar, Achibombasi, NTA News.
As the ongoing nationwide strike by the National Association of Resident Doctors continues to bite harder, patients and their relatives are appealing to the federal government and the striking doctors to look for ways of resolving their differences, as only consultants are currently at work to treat patients. Lekan Agbonde has an update from the Federal Medical Center, Idi Aba, Abeokuta, Ogun State.
Embarked upon by the resident doctors is taking its tolls on healthcare delivery in all government health facilities. A visit to the Federal Medical Center, Abeokuta, revealed that the center is now a shadow of itself, as most of the wards were virtually empty because people have taken their patients to private health facilities. This emergency ward at FMC Abeokuta that used to be beehive of activities is now devoid of its normal busy nature, as only 2 patients were seen at the ward.
Our emergency services are working. We are sure that people are there. There are some medical officers who we recruited just for the purpose of ensuring that services are maintained. We also have medical officers who are doing the youth service, so they help us to make sure that essential services are kept running.
At the other wards visited, patients are being taken care of by the nurses and other categories of providers drafted by the management.
Only the nurses give us drugs, and even now that I'm waiting for my surgery, I don't know when that is going to be, and our money is just counting.
Efforts to speak to the president of the National Association of Resident Doctors in Ogun State proved abortive, as he was said not to be available for comment. In Abeokuta, Lekan Agbonde, NTA News.
Children are gifts from God and are said to be a blessing to the family and the society at large. Likewise, every family desired to bless the society with healthy and talented children. However, this desire is stalled by certain unprecedented factors, as many families get stuck with the burden of children with sickle cell anemia. Maureen Liwajam assesses the prevalent rate of children with sickle cell anemia, causes, and possible precautionary measures.
Research shows that about 150,000 children in Nigeria are born annually with sickle cell anemia, with a prevalent rate of 20 per 1,000 live births. Similar research shows the potential to decrease the prevalence of sickle cell anemia and thereby decrease the burden on families and the healthcare systems. How then is this achievable?
Over time, so many parents that didn't know about this have been suffering because of this situation. Their children and all that have been sick. They've been, in short, they've been passing through stress because of lack of knowledge. But for now, there are awareness going on. So many parents are aware. So they also advise their children not to get into marriages without checking their genotype.
Before you get into marriage, you have to know your spouse genotype so that you will not produce sickle cell children. Because in a way you get married in a manner, at least this society now is civilized. We are in a digital era. So in whatever thing you want to do, you need to seek medical advice as well. In as much as you are in love, you should know how you fall in love. Don't bring in a child that will suffer the rest of his or her life.
I advise people to go for a test to know their genotype before getting married.
Nothing more nor less. Premarital screening is said to remain the only strategy for the prevention of inherited disorders.
Doing your genotype before getting married is very important because it will prevent a life of pain, a life of torture, and probably a life of tragedy at the end of the day. So if 2 people who are AS get married, there is a possibility that they are going to have children that have SS, that is sicklers. And the experience is not good. Once you leave an SS person that is a sickler gets married to someone that is AS, still the same, higher possibilities. And worse off if 2 sicklers get married. That means all the children will be sicklers.
The goal of reducing the number of individuals in Nigeria who have sickle cell anemia is compelling.
So the advice is for one to do genotype before getting married. Ensure that if you're an SS person or AS, you get married to someone that whose genotype is AA. That is very important. At the worst, you will have children who are carriers. Now, somebody who is carrying the sickle cell trait will not exhibit the disease, will not have the disease. But if that person also meets another person that has the trait, the possibility of having children who are sicklers is very high.
However, testing earlier in life offers a less burdensome and potentially even more effective means of achieving the goal. In Calabar, Maureen Leo Ajom, NTA News.
The clergy must not fail in instilling sound and godly morals to their followers for the building of a responsible society. Reverend Father Stephen Akpebende gave the admonition at a solemn Thanksgiving Mass in honor of Reverend Father Jude Mary Agbeye for his successful ordination as a Catholic priest. Thanksgiving took place at the Sacred Heart of Jesus Parish, Obudu, Cross River State. Esu Edodi reports.
The new priests arrived. The congregation was excited being part of such historic events. The officiating priest was emphatic in reminding the new priest, Reverend Father Jude Mary, to be an exemplary leader and feed the church with strong ethics.
Doing your best to avoid all kinds of grudges, calumny, clamor, envy, and all kinds of things that will stand against the image of Christ.
When it's open to God, anything that comes his way, whether as a challenge, he can turn it into an opportunity. And if he relies on God for grace.
Lovely. You know, anybody who has got a child, mostly at this time, when he's not a priest, we pray for his long life, progress, and whatever he needs on earth.
I'm grateful as a widow. The Lord chose my son to be his servant. I pray, may the good Lord give him the strength, wisdom, knowledge, and strength, spirit of understanding. Fear of God should continue to follow him all his life.
What I want God to do for him is to continue to give him the strength and the enablement to carry the word and carry the Angbe's family. He is our light.
It's actually a very great and remarkable day in my life because in all my seminary journey, I've been waiting for a day like this, ordination and also Thanksgiving Mass. So it's a day whereby I call on brothers and friends, families to come and rejoice with me after the long journey of seminary formation and attaining the ordination and also the Thanksgiving Mass. Just at the day is called Thanksgiving, so we give thanks to God for the successful seminary journey and also the ordination.
It is a new beginning for Reverend Father Jude Mary, and the congregation offered their best with gift items, including a new car to ease mobility. Esu Idudi, NTA News.
The Cross River State Police Command has declared one Master Bethel Ogbonnaya Okenyi, whose photograph is on the screen, missing. Master Bethel Ogbonnaya Okenyi is 15 years old, dark in complexion, speaks Igbo and English language is fluently. Master Bethel, who was last seen, wore a nika and a milky color polo with palm slippers and resides with his parents at number 19 Andy Street, Calabar. He is JSS1 student of Estate Secondary School, Ikoransa, Calabar. Master Bethel left home on 23rd of July 2021 to collect his results at school but has not returned. All efforts to trace his whereabouts prove abortive. The command hereby appeals to the general public with useful information on his whereabouts to report to the nearest police station or call GSM number 0806 3406 079 or the DSP Irene Ogbu. That is it on our news tonight, but before we go, a recap of our major stories. Federal Ministry of Mines and Steel Development is embarking on investigation of mineral targets in the 19 states of the Federation. This is to determine accurate mineral locations using modern-day aeromagnetic mechanism. The Minister of Environment, Muhammad Mahmoud Abubakar, has said that plans are underway to protect the parks and rangers managing them as a measure to help mitigate climate change. Also in the news, Reverend Father Jude Mary Agbe led the train in a Thanksgiving Mass for his successful ordination as a Catholic priest at the Sacred Heart of Jesus Parish, Obudu local government area of Cross River State. That is the package for this evening. Thanks for watching. Good night.